This week on EBuzz, put on your bat suits for a very special edition of the show that takes you into the world of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises, the epic conclusion to the Batman trilogy. We bring you interviews with the cast and director of the film, our set visits in London, exclusive trailers, and the red carpet premiere of the movie in New York. Plus all the Batmania that's been building up to this much anticipated film, so hold on tight.
Don't worry, Master Wayne. Takes a little time to get back in the swing of things.
I'm Jamie, and welcome to this special edition of EBuzz featuring everything on Warner Bros. Pictures' blockbuster offering, The Dark Knight Rises. EBuzz was in LA recently to chat with the cast and director of the film, who told us more on what the film was about and their experiences working on it. How exciting. Check this out.
You know about him?
Of course.
The Dark Knight Rises is the final installment of the Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy that takes place 8 years after Batman emerges from the shadows of Two-Face's crimes and at a time when Gotham City faces its biggest threat ever from Bane, Batman's most formidable foe yet.
What are you? I'm Gotham's reckoning.
Christian Bale, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Gary Oldman all reprise their roles for the third time in this spectacular finale.
Mr. Wayne.
But it's the newcomers that are making quite an impact on the film as well.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything.
First of all, I have to say you looked incredible in that outfit.
Oh, thank you.
How hard was it working in that every day?
I don't know. I didn't really think about it that way. This was a dream job, a dream role, dream everything. So when that happens, you don't want to nitpick it or break it down according to your level of discomfort. You just try to focus on how cool it is.
There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. Better batten down the hatches.
Well, we always like to have a fantastic pedigree of the people we use to cast these movies, and you have the three of them, Tom Hardy and Anne Hathaway and Marion Cotillard, tremendous actors in their own right. We worked with Marion and Tom on Inception, and both of them did great performances in that film.
You have my permission to die.
Tom Hardy, who plays the cold and deadly villain Bane, soaks up major screen time in a performance that will chill viewers. But it's Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, aka Selina Kyle, who literally steals the scenes in the film. She tells us how she went ninja style while training for the role.
It was pretty intense. You know, in the beginning it was just about getting strong, and then once we had done that, I actually got to start learning the specific stunts and the specific fight sequences, and that was when you got to learn backflips and you figure out how to run up a wall and how to kick someone from behind. And
had you done anything like that before?
No, nothing even came close to that in my life.
Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman, who play Alfred and Lucius Fox respectively, are more emotionally involved with Bruce Wayne's character than ever.
There was always a tremendous emotional thing for me. You know, I didn't want to play a butler and come in a suit and keep saying dinner is served and going out again, you know, and come back with dessert.
You are as precious to me as you were to your own mother and father. I swore to them that I would protect you, and I haven't.
The standard of the writing and the character, and with Christopher Nolan, you get that. I saw this film a couple of weeks ago, and I just sat there amazed at what he'd done. Dark Knight, he topped Batman Begins, which I didn't think he could do, and I was absolutely positive he couldn't top Dark Knight, and he did it.
For me, the guiding principle has to be challenging yourselves in terms of the characterizations on the story, the emotions of the thing. I've got to really care about what's going on in the story. I have to really need to tell the story, and then I feel like I'm doing my job at that point.
In the movie, the two kind of come off being parents to Bruce Wayne's character. We asked them who was the mum and the dad in this dynamic.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah. No, I'm uncle.
He's uncle, I'm dad.
He's dad.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
dad.
dad, because I was there when I was the butler to his dad. I wasn't his butler. I was his dad's butler.
I'm the rich uncle. I've got all the
he's
toys.
the rich uncle.
In this movie, Batman returns to crime fighting in Gotham after a huge physical and emotional struggle. A struggle that is woven into many parts of the film.
Well, we meet Bruce at a very different point in his life. We meet him at a point where he has given up all hope, where he's become very remorseful and guilt-ridden because of the choices that he's made. We find somebody who not only is having no plans on resuming Batman, but also has lost all sense of joy in life or color in life whatsoever. And it takes a couple of characters to bring him back.
The Batman has to come back.
This was an unusual situation where we had to be able to play the aspect of the physical manifestation of Bruce Wayne, where he would be completely incapable, but also build himself to a place where he would become capable.
Why didn't you just kill me? Your punishment must be more severe.
Christian also dishes out how he managed to carry out normal conversations with a masked Tom Hardy on set.
I could hear him, and just as with any scenes when he was 100 feet from me, it was tricky, and we learned a certain sort of sign language between each other.
People of Gotham, we have not abandoned you.
What's that mean? It means we're on our own.
Gary Oldman, who plays Commissioner Gordon, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays John Blake, a young, hard-nosed Gotham beat cop, are paired up together for the first time in The Dark Knight Rises.
Do you get other actors saying, God, man, you're so lucky to have been part of that, yeah?
Sure.
Like, they're just sort of...
They're right.
I mean, there can only be one Gordon, and to get chosen to play in this reboot of Batman, you know, this pleasure, a real treasure.
Chris Nolan, the director of this amazing trilogy, told us how he dealt with the pressure of working on this installment of the film.
You have an enormous amount of pressure at the very beginning when you're deciding on your story and you're trying to come up with the reason that you would ask the worldwide audience to come back to Gotham City with you. So there's a huge amount of pressure at that point. Once you've committed to that, committed to a story, it's like making any other film. You just try and make the best film that you know how. And right now that pressure comes back because we finished the film, we've done everything we can. Now we put the film out there and we hope that people think it's a worthy conclusion to the story we've been telling.
We also asked everyone in the cast who their favorite villain was, and we got surprising responses.
Favorite villain? Mine was the Joker.
Well, the Joker. He's the Joker is like the coolest villain of any movie.
Yeah, I think the Joker's
The Joker?
a great creation.
Same answer to that question, I found.
Is it?
Yeah.
You don't get Mr. Freeze?
No.
I
Poison
wonder why.
Ivy.
There's a new kid in town.
Wait till everyone gets a load of Bane, though. In the film, there's no stopping him.
Mr. Wayne. Bane's not ready to be reasoned with. When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die. Some people want to watch the world burn, or Bane's come to pull the pin on the grade.
Coming up, we travel to London for an exclusive set visit for The Dark Knight Rises, so don't go away. Welcome back to The Dark Knight Rises EBuzz special here on AXN. Now, if you're a fan of Batman, you would know that the comic book hero has had a long history in film and television, which has all now culminated in The Dark Knight Rises, which is the third and final film in Christopher Nolan's Batman's trilogy. And trust me, the film will be explosive as Batman faces his strongest nemesis yet, Bane, and we got a first-hand exclusive peek at his lair and more during a set visit to London last year. Take a look. Making a massive picture on a scale like The Dark Knight Rises, with loads of sets, requires massive real estate, and that's exactly what the production team was able to do when they transformed 2 airship hangars in the small UK town of Bedfordshire into full-fledged movie sets. Each hangar is over 700 feet long, perfect for housing the huge sets Christopher Nolan needed built for this film. From Bane's lair, the Bat Bunker, the Indian prison and more, these airship hangars became crucial to the cast and crew of the movie, as integral scenes from The Dark Knight Rises were shot here. Also on our set visit, we caught up with Linda Hemming, the main costume designer for The Dark Knight Rises. We also asked Linda to spill more on the biggest star of the film, why the Batsuit, of course.
This I like to think of is my Batsuit because it's mine and Christopher Nolan's, and it was what we wanted to do on Batman Begins, and we ended up being able to do it properly on The Dark Knight and reinventing the technology of how the Batsuit is made and how it works. Well, we probably worked on it, designing it first of all, then the concept artist drawing from your designs, and people at the same time developing and moulding pieces and putting them on and sculpting a body and putting your ideas onto the body, probably about 6 months. We wanted to maintain the volume and the breadth of his shoulders, and therefore bring it down so that his
quite
waist,
sexy, really, isn't it?
So we were working on lines, making all the lines pull into the middle, and we were working on keeping his shoulders big, but without it just being a sort of lump of big rubber.
For Bane's character, similar reasons of realism had to be kept in mind by Linda when designing for the character, hence the cargo pants, straps and massive coat, mask and boots that gives Bane a terrifying air in the film. A comic book hero film like The Dark Knight Rises also requires some heavy-duty stunt work, and stepping up to the plate is special effects supervisor Chris Corbold. The coolest thing we saw at the Cardington set, a half-built fuselage of a plane that was used to film the opening scenes of the movie. So tell me, Chris, what's it like working with Christopher Nolan? How is it, that whole collaborative force?
In a word, challenging, very challenging. It's my 4th film with Chris now, so we've got quite a close relationship, but he never ceases to amaze me. Each film, he takes that little step further into the future. It is a challenging exercise.
Chris also talks about the logistical challenges involved in making the film.
We're filming in, obviously, the UK, we're filming in Los Angeles, we're filming in New York, we're filming in Pittsburgh. It's just making sure all the right crew is in the right place with the right equipment, and the schedules are quite tight. We have to get everything made very, very quickly to be there to film, and we have to get adequate rehearsal and testing in.
Chris also spills the beans on some of the most explosive scenes in the movie.
I think we have a spectacular end sequence with a big chase along the streets with more than one of Batman's previous vehicles and some new vehicles. It's like all the toys in one shot, and it's going to be very, very spectacular.
Of course, nothing beats being a producer for a movie this amazing. Imagine working with an A-list cast and crew, traveling to 5 different locations, shooting half the film in IMAX, and then possibly, maybe even getting to ride Batman's Batpod. One of the film's ace producers tells us what it was like being on board this project. Seriously, I'm jealous.
The real intimidating thing is when you do a sequel to a movie that was already big in scale and scope, how do you top it?
Do you think he's coming back?
I don't know.
And I think Chris Nolan has figured out how to even top that one, which is going to be tremendous for the audience.
And what's it like working with such an amazing, incredible director?
It's brilliant. He is a master at what he does, and we just, we all kind of stand back and just admire his vision and just follow it truthfully and faithfully, and every day on the set is a really exciting day because it's just filled with big bangs, explosions, emotional stakes, and it's awesome.
Now it seems like every big movie that comes out, it's in 3D. And I think it's kind of nice that, you know, Christopher Nolan hasn't jumped on that bandwagon.
He is more of an IMAX guy, and as you know, the Dark Knight had a certain, you know, about 20 or so minutes in IMAX. This film, we're going to be shooting a larger percentage of the film in IMAX. We feel that when you see a movie that big, it becomes much more of an immersive experience.
The ride on this special edition of EBuzz for The Dark Knight Rises isn't over. We'll be back with more from Gotham City and its colorful citizens, so stay tuned. I'm Jamie, and you're watching The Dark Knight Rises EBuzz special right here on AXN. We bring you now a 2-minute sneak peek of the film.
So you know that, then? Of course.
Mr. Wayne. Remember where you parked?
Rises. Must have lost my ticket.
Your wife said you were taking a cab home.
My wife?
Don't worry, Master Wayne. Takes a little time to get back in the swing of things.
If you thought that clip was cool, then you'll love some of the trivia we have for you on the movie. Here's our top 5 trivia on the film. At number 5, did you know that The Dark Knight Rises took the cast and filmmakers across 3 continents, filming in varying locations like Jodhpur, India, the UK and Wales, and in the USA, the cities of Los Angeles, New York, and Pittsburgh? Well, they did, and interestingly enough, it all looks so seamlessly put together in the film, like everything was taking place in one city. At number 4, Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman's so-called one-piece suit, was actually made up of 2 pieces with a utility belt holding it all together. Guess that's the magic of movies, hey? At number 3 on our trivia list, nearly half of The Dark Knight Rises was shot using the IMAX camera, and it's one of the few films made that has done so, and it will be presented on 70mm film in 102 IMAX locations worldwide when it opens.
Mr. Wayne.
At number 2 on our trivia list, Bane's mask. To make it, costume effects supervisor Graham Churchyard had to take actor Tom Hardy's computer cast and 3D model each rigid piece to the contours of Tom's head so it was tight with no gaps and yet still able to give the actor room to breathe.
Let the games begin.
Can you see by the dawn? And top of our trivia list is the explosive, spectacular football-filled scene where Bane initiates his revolution against Gotham City. More than 11,000 extras flocked to the Heinz Field in Pittsburgh to film this crucial scene. Some of the football players featured here were actually drafted from a real-life local football team known as the Pittsburgh Steelers. When we return, we jet set off to New York for the film's red carpet premiere, and we watch Asia go batty over The Dark Knight Rises exhibits. Welcome back to The Dark Knight Rises EBuzz special, where we've been talking about everything Batman as the summer's most anticipated blockbuster comes to theaters this week. So let's hit the red carpet premiere of the movie, which took place recently in New York, to take in all the action. It was a gorgeous day in the heart of New York City when the graduating cast and crew of The Dark Knight Rises stepped on the red carpet for the premiere of the film. Nothing but loud and crazy Batophiles greeted them as they arrived.
Had a good time doing the job on all 3 films, really. It's always a great time you have putting together what you could do with these characters who are so known and so loved. It's a real privilege to work with them.
I'm very honoured to have played this character and to have recreated it in our own fashion.
I'm very humbled by this whole experience and grateful for it.
Been a bit overwhelmed by the size of the movie.
It's bittersweet that it's the final one, you know?
It was an honor to be in Inception, and then even more so when he asked me back. It's meant a lot.
We have premieres in London and Paris, so we're together for a while longer. It ain't goodbye yet.
I'm so proud, I'm so grateful, I'm so happy to be part of this one.
It's a little bittersweet to step away from these characters this way.
Batmania didn't just take a hold on New York City, fans in Asia also got a peek at the Batpod and more. Take a look. Fans of the Batman trilogy in Hong Kong and Taiwan got a chance to experience the Dark Knight Rises film up close and personal recently when the Batpod arrived in town. Also on display, the costumes worn by Batman, Catwoman and Bane from the film. It was quite an experience for the fans lucky enough to be there.
这部片就如我们刚刚所说的，它不只有动作、有剧情，然后又有所谓的深度。就是如果真的不去电影院看这部片的话，真的很可惜。
一定要去看，绝对不会让你失望。
对。
And with that, we've come to the end of our EBuzz The Dark Knight Rises special. It's been one breathless ride through Gotham City and its varying hues of characters, both good and bad. Now all you have to do is grab some popcorn and go watch the film, now showing at all good theaters near you. I'm Jamie, thanks for joining me on this special, and I'll see you again real soon.